Hey, my creative friends. My name is Shannon from shannonstudio.com. Just checking in tonight. First off, how is your creative world going? Let me know how it's going creatively for you. We talk here about a creative lifestyle, things that help us to be creative. So I try to give a tip or some kind of thought geared toward creativity. Sometimes I'm very specific about what the creativity connection is. Sometimes I go, after I'm done, I go, I didn't tie it to it, so I hope they found it because it's there. Anyways, hey, Trisha. So tonight, let's see. Okay, last night I told you there was a little meltdown with the bedtime, everything else. So I go in and talk to my husband afterwards, after the, video and stuff like that last night. And he just was talking about it. And talking about the situation, he goes, "You're a genius." And I'm like, when your husband calls you a genius, you pay attention. So he was just so grateful I came up with a solution to the problem. And when we were sitting there, I sent Joseph out of the room so Alan and I could talk. And, because we needed to come up with something. And I was sitting there, he goes, "Well, what do you think we should do?" And I'm like, my head's down, I'm like, let me think a minute. So I'm trying to think in this situation. And it's like, and then finally a solution comes to me. And so then I, did it. And then Alan tells me I'm a genius later on. And I thought, oh, yeah. And we can thank creativity for that. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Tricia says, hey, from your Star Party people. Oh, hi, Raylyn. And hey, Joan. So I wanted to talk about that idea. If any place that we need creativity to work for us, it is in being a parent. Can I get an and yes to that? It's like, okay, here's a couple quotes. This one is from Creative Confidence. Whatever your profession, and I insert parent, whatever your profession, when you approach it with creativity, you'll come up with new and better solutions and more successes. Who doesn't want success as a parent? Yeah. And where's the other quote? Here was the other quote. Okay. This from Creative Confidence. Oh, that one's from Creative. That must have been it. We believe that our creative energy is one of our most precious resources. It can help us to find innovative solutions to some of our most intractable problems. Thanks, Tricia. She says, "Amen," and tell the solution. We are curious. Okay, I will. I'll tattle a little bit. So, intractable problems. It says it can help us find innovative solutions to some of our most intractable problems. I looked up intractable. And intractable is not easily controlled or directed, not docile or manageable, stubborn, obstinate. So some of our most uncontrollable problems, not docile, most stubborn problems. And I thought, yes, for sometimes children fall into that category. Sometimes spouses, we all do sometimes. So I just thought that was hilarious because, so last night the situation was Joseph was having a meltdown over the fact that he wanted to have a video before bed. And usually it's story time, and it has always been story time. And then lately Alan started doing a video. And so then it was like a power struggle. And those two are up there doing that. And so finally I go upstairs because I try not to insert myself so that, Alan so those two can work together because they don't get to spend as much time together. And so I was staying out of it, but then it was it doesn't sound good. So I went upstairs and it's you go out and have a timeout for a minute while we talk. And so basically it was I think a lot of us have an either or. It's, I do this or I do that. And we just, because we're so caught up in the fight or flight or freak out mode. And so we only have a certain parameter that our brains will go. But creativity teaches you to go further than that, to use your imagination, to realize, because you face problems all the time when you're creating, all the time. And so it forces you to push outside those boundaries that are trying to restrict you. And so my suggestion was just say, we're done with videos at night, because it had kind of worked like that before where there was a problem. And so I said, we hadn't done videos before. We're not going to do them now. So he has to know, this is, you can tell him, like, you can be the nice guys, and you can tell him he can have the last video tonight, and then I will say we're not having any more videos. And so, yeah, that was it. And, that was such a simple solution. But Alan thought it was genius, and I will wear that title for a day. So a couple other things. Creativity comes into play whenever we have the opportunity to generate new ideas, solutions, or approaches. So anytime we need that in our lives, and it can be any kinds of relationships, when we need those ideas, approaches, we have to bring creativity into it. We have to be open to that. Thanks, Tricia. You guys are making my day. You and Alan. So let's see. Creative Flow, the book Creative Flow. Actually, the book Creative Flow, it's like this long title, and I only say Creative Flow. But if I quote from it and write the quote down in the video, I usually write out the whole title. But they say, look at problems from as many viewpoints as possible. So look at it from Alan's point of view, from Joseph's, from mine. Even if somebody walked in the door, what would they say about what was going on? So look at all the viewpoints. Another thing you can do is to ask questions that require a discussion. So ask, what's going on? What happened? Start kind of data gathering so that we can start to insert some of that data to be able to help us understand the picture better. Another thing that happens before an actual problem, it can happen in the moment, but it definitely happens before, is to learn the skill of observation. So observation is the to take note, to be internally and externally aware. That is huge. If you can be internally aware of what is happening inside of you, your feelings, your biases, and then also be aware of what's happening outside and balance those things out and take it into consideration, you are going to be a great problem solver. It's, in what book is this? Wired to observe, notice, or attend to phenomenon that pass your mind's eye. So, in our daily lives, if we practice observation, that's going to give us a skill set so that when problems come up, we can tap into that skill set. Same with if we've practiced looking from different points of view. I mean, even when you're drawing something, I remember in our drawing classes, we would, before you sat down to draw, you would walk around the room and you would look at the model and see where you wanted to sit. You wanted to see a view. So you're used to walking around and seeing from a different point of view. I know other industries do that sort of thing when, like interior design, that kind of stuff. So it's the idea that you're taking different viewpoints. So some of this stuff happens prior to your problem. And if you're used to asking questions, that skill set starts prior to your problems. And then the fourth thing, of play. This comes from Wired to Create as well. A sense of play, even in the face of fear. And I don't think he can hear me, but I mean, a lot of parents get that fear going. It's like, oh no, this is out of control now, what? Yeah, and then kids can smell fear. Every time they can smell it. So a sense of play, even in the face of fear. So that sense of play means to stay loose with regard to I can't even read my. So to stay loose thinking, to allow your imagination to just be part of it, basically to not let your frontal cortex shut down. That's what I always say. Your frontal cortex is shutting down. You can't stay loose. You can't, whenever that fear and stuff comes in, to be able to stay open is a great thing, to let your mind be loose. And so I mean, as I think of dealing with people and problems, we definitely need to be able to come up with numerous solutions to lots of things that happen in family life or our work life or whatever. I mean, even this coronavirus, they've banned travel to the United States. There's anybody with 500 or more employees in Sweden has to shut down. It's all over. They've closed some of the schools. They're considering closing Joseph's School. They've canceled the baseball, national baseball. Viewership, in person sort of things, and the basketball. It's just like, so in this situation where we're facing a worldwide, and the WHO organization called it a pandemic, when we're facing that, we have to have the ability to look for solutions, because this is ground we haven't covered before. For most of us in our lifetime, we haven't covered this kind of ground before. And you have all kinds of viewpoints about it, and everybody feels strongly in their viewpoint. And so then you start having discussions and having opinions and all kinds of things. This is the time where, as a wide problem, we need bigger solutions. We need local solutions. We need to still be able to open up, ask questions, look at from different viewpoints, observe, see what's going on, take note of what's around you, and keep your mind open even in the face of fear. And so we've got to do that. But the tip tonight, let your husband call you a genius and embrace it. I know we've talked about problem solving, but this is kind of a different vein that I think we went through to get to that. So just as we approach, go into more days we definitely have more days. Alan was telling me that the coronavirus can live in the air for 3 hours or be on a surface for 9. I didn't, it was a lot. It was, I only let it go. I don't know why. It's important stuff, but I just kind of didn't hear the exact details, just that I knew it sticks around a lot. So, I don't know why I said that last part, but okay, my creative friends, you are the people who are going to help make solutions, because you're the people who are creative. You don't hang around here if you're not creative. Tricia says Koi is going to love this one. Oh, you'll have to tell me why he's going to love this one. So, remember, you have a creative heartbeat, so listen for it, and I plan on being here tomorrow. Even with the coronavirus, I can be here tomorrow, can't I? Oh, yeah, they've canceled our Release Society thing, and tomorrow, what's today? Thursday? Okay, FYI, tomorrow I am teaching a business basics for online business. I don't know tons and tons of stuff, but I have enough knowledge to get people started on the road. And so our women's group is going to do that, and tomorrow, so it will start at 7. So I think I will be done in time. I will be done in time for our Creative Life Tips tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. I might be a little late, but I don't think so. But just a FYI. All right, bye for now.